Hello. Hello. Hi, I'm Siobhan. I'm an artist and a curator. And I'm here today to ask you, does sound have colour? Alan Davie was an artist who thought it did. Davey once said, colour is like a chord struck on a harp in the darkness. I've always been a painter and a musician. The two, to me, are interchangeable. And for 8 decades, he lived and breathed art and music. Davey believed he could liberate the unconscious through the painting process. Black Mirror that we have replicated here from 1952 reflects the intensity of Davey's painting process as he worked quickly, creating, layering and obliterating to discover a web of forms and symbols emerging from the paint. So today I'm going to tell you a wee bit about him. And as we go along, our musicians here are going to respond to Davey's work. And while that happens, we'll be creating some artwork inspired by him. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
For as long as I've been interested in improvised music, Davey has been there for me. His art was an important part of his personality as his music. He played right up until the time he died. I mean, he was playing piano 2-3 hours a day, well into his 90s.
What is improvised music for? It's for connecting into the reality of that moment in time in which you exist. You're forced to make quick decisions because you are only in the present. It means you're working at a very subconscious level.
Sometimes you can get in the zone. You're playing almost without thinking.
I felt it released an enormous sort of violent sense of energy and Stockhausen references and so on, and I just felt liberating, yes.
You've added colour to yours.
Aye.
What made you do that?
Well, I ran out of ink.
Davey said that the idea of abstract expressionism led inevitably to a dead end. He's actually quoted as saying that Jackson Pollock's works got a bit boring. He found that total freedom of action painting was actually quite restrictive, and he looked for a way to go a bit further and seek to find some structure in his work. So as in jazz, where the musician selects a starting chord tone from which to improvise, Davey recognised the importance of discipline of form. Through this, he could really achieve creative freedom and liberate the unconscious mind. Davey believes in the Jungian idea of archetypal images, universal symbols shared throughout time through the collective unconscious. Davey really, through looking and absorbing visual culture, modern and ancient, built a kind of catalogue of symbols and motifs that he used in his paintings. And it was with colour that he could really express these ideas. Colours must sing together very much like notes in music, a mingling of wavelengths. He said that painting's very much like improvising on a piano. So sitting down and playing, an idea will appear out of putting one note against another. So if we get our paint out and kind of feeling the music through our fingers and through our hands, can we create the pictorial equivalent of sound? Thank you, everyone, for really immersing yourselves in the improvisatory nature of the music. How did that feel?
Lovely. Can't play an instrument, but I always feel music. I like to listen to music with my eyes closed and just listen to the music. But now hadn't got my eyes closed. Well, it looks like I have, but I hadn't. Lovely.
You drew first.
In part.
Yeah, but in quite an expressive line.
But I have Van Gogh's ear for music.
So what we're going to do now with these amazing visual scores that you've created is we're going to show them to our musicians and see if they can improvise or respond to the paintings that you've made.